off on extra credit, we learn about careers in sports, even if you aren't an athlete, plus tips for being a good teammate. Stay tuned.
This program is made possible in part by Michigan Department of Education, the State of Michigan, and by viewers like you.
Hi there, I'm Mrs. Pizzo, and I'm so thrilled you're here. This is Extra Credit, where we meet interesting people, explore new ideas, and discover fun places together. Each episode will introduce you to people who use math, science, sports, writing, and the arts to make the world an interesting place. Today's theme is sports and games, and we have a ton of fun planned. But first, let's meet our co-host.
Hi friends, my name is Yash Mehta, and I'm happy to be with you. Do you like watching sports? If so, you're just like Kate Scott. She's a morning sports anchor at KNBR. Even as a little girl, she loved watching SportsCenter on ESPN and grew up playing every sport she could. But after a knee injury ended her athletic career, she was encouraged to put her sports knowledge to work as a journalist. Let's kick off Sports and Games Week by hearing from Kate.
I played almost every sport that you can imagine growing up. My first ever foray into sports broadcasting or journalism, I was a print journalist, and I used to just cover all the sports and the teams that I used to play for. In my current job now, I'm one of the very few women on sports radio in the U.S. because it is such a male-dominated field, and a lot of people ask me, well, how did you even get into it? When I think about that, yeah, I definitely did my internships and I got there, but I never thought about the fact that it was usually just men. If you see something that you want to do, but you don't see someone who looks like you in that role, don't stop trying to do it, because maybe everyone has just been waiting for you. I think the most rewarding part of my job for me, and it's kind of come as a complete surprise, because I've always loved sports, and just to be able to be paid to do something I love, to talk about sports, which so many people do, right? At the water cooler, at lunch, having drinks with friends, over, whatever. It's such a commonality that people share to talk about sports. So the fact that I get paid for it is incredible. But the fact that I'm a woman in a male-dominated field has really opened my eyes to the fact that so many women have wanted to be in my position before me and either weren't allowed the opportunity or were looked down upon for wanting to do what I do. So I've gotten so many incredible emails and tweets from women who have just said, I have been waiting 25 years to hear a woman talk about sports the way I have always talked about sports. I get notes from dads saying, I drive my daughters and their friends to school every morning, and they light up when they hear your voice because they love sports and they identify with the fact that there's a woman talking about sports. So for me, that is the most rewarding. I think my coolest interview probably feels like one of the coolest because I wasn't actually a real reporter yet. It was when I was at Cal and I was just working for a little highlight show, and I was in the post-game basketball press conference, and it was the game in which Cal had retired Jason Kidd, who played in the NBA, from Oakland. He played at Cal, and they were retiring his jersey. So he was there for the game, and there was a halftime ceremony, and then post-game he came into the interview room, and I was back there. I usually just sat there. I didn't ask many questions. I let the professionals do it. But they were asking him all these questions that seemed pretty dull to me. No one was asking about his time in Berkeley, which is why he was back, because Cal loved him and he seemed to love Cal, and they were just kind of asking him about his current NBA team and this and that. And I thought to myself, I really want to know why Jason loved Cal. So I just raised my hand in the back, and I was nervous, and the press guy called on me, and I said, Jason, what was your favorite memory from your time at Cal? And he sat there for a minute, and then he started talking about this guy who was famous in his time there, who was called the Naked Guy, who was a guy that Just used to walk around campus with a backpack and shoes and nothing else. And the room was cracking up. And then everyone else started asking, well, what's your favorite restaurant while you were here in Berkeley? Well, do you remember any great times in the dorms? So that just showed me that I could do it, because I was in this room with all these professionals, and the question I asked opened all these other questions up, and the following day in the paper, all the quotes they used were from those few questions that had started after I had asked them a really simple question, just, what was your favorite memory at Cal? So looking back, that's one of the coolest interviews I've done. If you love sports and want to get into sports broadcasting, but you don't necessarily play sports, read all you can, watch all you can, listen to everything you can, and latch on to the people that you really like. I definitely have folks in every industry that I really like, sports writers that I love, who really teach me the most about those sports, because let's be honest, I didn't know a thing about cricket, and I didn't know that much about ice hockey. There's no ice that's natural in Fresno, California, where I grew up. So I really had to teach myself, just as you would about math or science or any other subject. You just have to be willing to teach yourself. So, find magazines that you like. There's so many different avenues these days, and find TV programs that you really like, and watch them on a continuous basis. And you'll learn quickly that just by doing something, just by making something a part of your routine, that you'll start to soak it in, and things that maybe seemed really foreign to you a month ago, all of a sudden you'll know every player on a team and why they play the position that they do and where they came from before. So just keep your eyes open and listen and read and watch, and you'll definitely have a shot. I played almost every sport that you can imagine growing up. I played tennis, I played basketball, I played soccer, I played softball, I ran track. I played street hockey and street football with the boys. It just anytime there was a ball or a stick or a glove around, I just wanted to play it. And then when we got a little bit older, the sports I focused on, I played 4 sports actually in high school. I played varsity soccer, varsity basketball, I ran varsity track, and I also did varsity tennis. So I loved sports, and they've definitely played a big part in where I am today.
There are more than 30,000 islands in the Great Lakes. Of course, not all of them are inhabited, but some are home to enough year-round residents to have high schools and high school basketball teams. So who's your crosstown rival when you live on an island? It could be another island team hundreds of miles away.
They're the familiar sounds of high school basketball. But in just a few hours, this gym will hold an event you've probably never heard of: the Great Lakes Islands Basketball Tournament.
The Great Lakes Island Basketball Tournament is unique because, it's just the island, small island schools. And it's like the battle of the best of who's the best of the Great Lakes.
Facing off are boys and girls teams from 4 island high schools representing 3 states. There's the Put-in-Bay Panthers from Ohio's South Bass Island, the Washington Island Bucks hailing from Wisconsin, and representing Michigan, the Mackinac Island Lakers, and the Beaver Island Islanders.
It's fun mainly because Beaver Island is our rival, and we've always been rivals. We have a lot of friends there. And then Put-in-Bay and Washington Island, we just have friends there, and it's kind of fun when they come up here.
This year's tournament, held on Mackinac Island, promises stiff competition on the court. But for the teams, just getting there is a challenge all its own. For the Put-in-Bay Panthers, the trip north from Lake Erie began the day before.
Well, first we took a ferry from Put-in-Bay over to Catawba Island. Then from there we drove all the way up through Michigan, across the bridge. We were in the car for 9-10 hours plus a couple of stops for food. And now we're on a ferry on our way to Mackinac from there.
All right, Put-in-Bay. Head to the street, take a right.
With no cars allowed on the island and only 2 horse-drawn carriages in service, the Panthers decide to make the icy walk from the dock right to the tournament. A couple of miles to the north, atop the island's iconic bluff, teams from Beaver Island arrive by plane.
We took off on the plane. Gorgeous flight. We got to fly over the Mackinac Bridge, which is always a great thing to see.
When the students' horse-drawn ride doesn't show up, they too have to make the snowy trek to the tournament. Finally, after more than 8 hours of driving and a hotel stay, the Washington Island Bucks reach Mackinac Island. For junior guard Max Johnson, on his first trip to Mackinac, the island is a sight to behold.
It looked like the Wizard of Oz or something like that, one of those fantasy towns, because you see all the buildings right up next to each other, different colors everywhere too. And then they've got that massive Christmas tree in the middle of the road, Christmas lights everywhere, so it's really beautiful around here.
Even the hometown Mackinac Lakers have an unusual commute to the tournament.
As you can see outside, there's a lot of snow and not as many people. We drive snowmobiles to and from school and anywhere else we'd like to go.
Now in its second year, the 2-day round-robin tournament gives these small island teams an opportunity to play against schools of similar size.
It's really awesome because we're playing against other teams who are just like us. Usually when we're playing other teams in Wisconsin, all the teams are like, they only have like 8 players, let's run it on them, and let's get them tired out right away.
All the teams competing have fewer than 100 students enrolled in their entire school, kindergarten through 12th grade.
The whole freshman class, there are 7 students. I'm the only girl, and there are 6 guys. They're a little crazy and wild, but they're like brothers.
That often means to field a basketball team, junior high schoolers are moved up to varsity, or teams might even play with a co-ed roster.
Our boys team, unfortunately, due to a player not coming out, we only have 4 boys in the high school team. And the girls play their game and then come play an extra quarter with the boys. Our team normally plays either Christian school, varsity schools, which are small in enrollment, or public schools, freshman teams. It's nice to compete against schools that are kind of playing who they have, not who they want to have. And also, too, the kids have camaraderie. They've shared experiences, which makes this game special.
The tournament brings sharp shooting from behind the arc, tough play from the low post, and heart-pounding nail biters. While friendly rivalries play out on the court, off the court, players from different schools bond over some of the unique challenges of island life as a teenager.
So a bad thing about this island is that if you're a teenager, you can't like anyone here, because that just is really gonna go bad for you, because if you date and break up, you're gonna have to survive with each other for years to come. And then like, you can't date anyone off the island because you'll never see them.
I think it's just fun, like, to meet new people. My school is very quiet, very small, so talking to other people who share, like, same situation as you is a lot of fun.
I think we can relate with each other a lot, just because we live on an island and know how hard it is to travel and do other things like that.
Traveling to and from the islands for sporting events also poses a challenge for each of the 4 school districts.
All of our travel expenses goes pretty much to the sports teams. It's something that we have to budget for every year, because last year, for instance, we went to Beaver Island twice. In one season, we went for basketball and soccer. So it adds up when you're sending 20 to 30 kids to a different island on a plane. It adds up.
But for the schools, sports boosters, and parents, the experience is worth paying for.
Sports are very important at our school, and it's kind of, if you don't play sports, then you're gonna be bored. All the community comes to every single basketball game, and our school is very supportive of our sports programs.
I've known most of these kids when they were born. So you get very attached to all of them, and you want them to do well and you want them to succeed.
When the final buzzers sound, the Beaver Island boys and the Put-in-Bay girls both repeat as tournament champions.
We were really hyped because we won it last year. We won all 3 games, which is how you win the tournament. We were like, yeah, let's go. And so we were really excited about doing that.
It was a long trek and we made it worth it. It goes in our trophy case at school and we get to hold it and touch it as much as we want.
For the teams that fell short, next year's tournament means a trip to a different island and another shot at the Great Lakes Islands title.
Hey, I mean, our tournament next year is in Put-in-Bay, and if they beat us on our home turf, we're gonna beat them on their home turf.
At Great Lakes Now, we aim to cover the Great Lakes region and the people who live here, like you. Please follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and sign up for our newsletter at greatlakesnow.org.
I think it's definitely okay to disagree with people that you're working with in a respectable way, of course.
It's really important to have disagreements and to have creative disagreements. I think as a result of disagreements, we create better products.
So when you're working on a team, there are 3 important things you want to remember.
Appreciation, curiosity, and compromise.
Appreciation. You want to appreciate that your team has lots of ideas, even if you don't agree with all of them. Remember that everybody wants the project to be the best it can be.
Curiosity. Be curious about different ideas. How is a different point of view interesting? Being curious means really listening before you say or decide anything.
Compromise. You want to try and find a solution that takes parts of all the different ideas that your team has and puts them together to make something even better.
Everybody has something that they can bring to your team. Even if you don't see it at first, it's there. And so you have to find it, because once you do, then the project is so much better and everybody on the team is a lot happier.
Wise words from the Minecraft Education Edition team. I'm in student council, and we have disagreements all the time. Once, we were planning a fundraiser and couldn't decide how much to charge customers. My friend said $5, so we'd raise more money, but I said $3, so more people would come. We discussed it, and he explained to me that most people willing to pay $3 would also pay $5. This taught me to value the ideas and opinions of others in a team. As a result, we ended up raising a ton of money. Now, let's take a look at an inspiring message by Career Girls about STEM fields. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Many people think that they can't do well in STEM, but watch this segment to gain new perspective and learn that you can be a strong STEM student regardless of your gender.
This is Olivia, and this is Jay. They're both in the 3rd grade. They're both smart, do their homework on time, and get good grades. Both curious about math and science, and loves to geek out about really weird stuff. Like how stars are formed, or how drones can predict a tornado is coming. Jay and Olivia are both great students with the potential to do anything. Jay's encouraged to join a computer science class in middle school. Olivia isn't. Life was going great for them, until Olivia bumps into some obstacles along the way. Jay learns to code in high school. Olivia doesn't. Jay makes new friends with the other boys. Together, they apply to top STEM colleges, which led to internships at tech companies, and they continue to move up the ladder. Olivia doesn't. Somewhere along the way, she lost her passion for math and science. But what if things were different?
Girls should consider computer science because you know what? We're really good at it. I think there's this prevailing thought that being a technologist is outside of you. It's very much in you.
When you are an engineer, you have that ability and you have gained that knowledge to be able to be creative and to really go after everything that you want to.
Why should girls consider a career in STEM? Why not?
I don't see obstacles as
anything but to be destroyed. So if there's something standing in my way, I will do my best to get rid of it.
Resiliency is so very important. Essentially, it means not giving up. Sometimes you get tired. If you get tired, rest, but don't quit.
It's so important for girls to pursue a college education because it's really the best way for young women to realize their full potential.
Only you can make your dreams come true. Work hard until you achieve it.
Dare to dream, dare to be bigger than anything that you could have possibly imagined.
Career Girls is founded on the dream that every girl around the world has access to diverse and accomplished women role models to learn from their experiences and discover their own path to empowerment.
Welcome to InPACT at Home, where we practice interrupting prolonged sitting with activity. I'm Lorenzo Reynolds, joined with my son Lorenzo Jr., and we're here to get you moving for the next few minutes. You will be surprised what these moments of movement can do for you and your family so that you can stay active and healthy at home. Go ahead, get up, and let's start moving. Today's movement activity is total body exercise. Let's get started. First movement is going to be squat and twist. We're going down in the squat and twist left, go down the squat, twist right, down, twist, down, twist. Excellent work. Down, twist, down, twist. Keep those feet spreaded, twist. Make sure we keep our balance. And as always, take deep breaths. Feel really good about yourself, guys. Everybody's looking great. Keep squatting, keep twisting. Keep squat, twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job, guys. That was excellent work. Next exercise is going to be jumping jacks. We're going to start with hands on the side. We'll touch the tip of our fingers and we'll repeat. Get ready, get set, and go. Jack it out. On those jumping jacks, control your landing, breathe, and always feel really great, guys. We're up, we're moving, raising the heart rate, and staying healthy. Excellent work. Control those jumps and breathe. Excellent work, guys. Keep going. Keep breathing. Every so often, take that deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Deep breath. Next movement, we're going into basketball squats. We're gonna bend down, shooter's position, jump, follow through. Bend down, jump, follow through. Basketball squats, guys. Follow through with that jumper. All net shots. Good, keep squatting and jump. Keep squat, jump, and shoot. Basketball squats, we're looking good, guys. Good, keep breathing. Almost there, keep pushing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent movement, guys. For our next movement, we're gonna do calf raises, arms in and out. Spread the feet, calf raise, up, down, out, in. 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 Keep breathing. Almost there. Every once in a while, smile because you feel really good. Good job. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Excellent work, guys. We're gonna keep moving. Our next movement will be a jog in place. We're gonna make sure that we don't go forward too much, back too much, to the side. Stay in place so that we stay safe. Take a deep breath, get ready, get set, and jog it out. Good job. Remember, you can always modify. Just step if you can't jog. as long as you're moving, guys. But for those who can jog, jog it out. Excellent work. Breathe. Feel really good. I always tell myself when I'm working out that I can do it. Always believe in yourself and say positive words. And breathe, and don't forget to breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job, excellent work. Lorenzo Jr., I'm gonna have you turn to the side for the burpee. Watch the furniture behind you. Always check your area. We're gonna go down, hands down, walk out. Step forward, step back, stand up, breathe. Hands down, step back, step forward, stand up tall, and breathe. Good job. That's great form. Take that breath every time you come up. Woo, you're looking good, sir. Everybody's at home, looking great. Keep stepping, stay safe, and step. Good. Almost there, keep pushing. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent movement. That was great. That was great. Next, we're going to do a bend and reach exercise. We'll have you stand to the side again, Lorenzo Jr. All right. So we're going down, front, middle, back, come up and touch. Get ready. Spread the legs. Get set and go. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3. Front, middle, back. 4. Front, middle, back. 5. 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 7. Breathe. 1, 2, 3, 8. Almost there. 1, 2, 3, 9. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent movement, guys. Good job, good job, good job. Let's take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. The next movement will be jump rope. No equipment needed. Imaginary jump rope. And ready, set. Let's turn and jump. Good job. Remember, when you jump rope, you don't have to jump really high as long as we're moving. The modification will be this, just stepping and turning that rope. But for those that can jump, keep on jumping. Looking good, looking good, looking great. Landing light and breathing. Land light and breathe. Land light and breathe. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent job on that movement. The heart rate is up. Let's bring that heart rate down with deep breathing. We'll do 3 deep breaths today. Deep breath number 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Let's make it the greatest. Last deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Excellent job. InPACT at Home is a chance to apply the skills you may have learned in your PE class to improve your health. To learn more about health benefits associated with movement, visit impactathome.umiss.edu. Now, don't forget to do your daily log. We'll see you again during the next workout.
My name is Stephen Curry, and I play point guard for the Golden State Warriors. The value in learning computer science is pretty evident just with how important tech is in our world.
Kel,
Yes.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Stephen,
too.
pleasure. Okay,
Here we have the play the fruit salad piano.
play the fruit salad. Okay,
Click any one of these fruits.
just touch the fruit?
Yes.
Is any one of them?
I mean, the opportunities are endless for somebody who's getting into computer science because that's a job that's in high demand right now.
Drag
Over
it
there.
right in the space?
Yes.
If you want to create and you want to be a visionary and type, you're probably going to be in tech space trying to do that.
There it is.
It's extremely important to have perseverance when you're learning new skills because anything that's worth doing usually doesn't come easy, and knowing that in the end it will pay off.
Oh, that's it right there. No, I'm an amateur coder. I don't choose.
It's a cool experience to kind of get in front of a computer and test my skills a little bit.
No way. Did I just code a line? Come on, dinosaur. Thank you, thank you.
Go beyond the hour of code. Pledge to bring computer science to your school.
Well, friends, I just received word that Dr. Bloch is going to check in to see how we're doing with our creative writing challenge. This challenge involves creating scripts featuring certain actors from a movie. Get ready.
Is that you? Is your story done yet?
Dr. Botch. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm working on my story. I went ahead and I'm not done with my story yet, but let me tell you what I've got. So I went to the University of Michigan Museum of Art's website. I picked out my two characters. We've got this guy, who I'm gonna call Mr. Sparkles. And we've got this guy, who we're going to call Herman in the story. And now, Mr. Sparkles is a guard around a unicorn castle. And Herman is really trying to get into the castle because he is a world-famous unicorn trainer. So this is how the story goes. Mr. Sparkles is standing outside the castle and he says, "Hello, what are you doing?" And then Herman says, "Hi, can I come in the castle?" And then that's what I have so far.
You're trying to tell me that's all you have, that's all the dialogue that you have written? I need to learn something about these characters through what they say. I need the dialogue to be rich. I need to know the motivations. I need to learn something about Mr. Sparkles and Herman. I mean, you've described them, but I need them, their dialogue to really make the story explode off the script. Keep in mind, I've got famous actors. They can do anything.
Okay, so I was thinking for Mr. Sparkles' character, maybe he could use some really like flashy, fancy words because he is like a fancy unicorn castle guard. So maybe would that work if I use some fancy words when he's speaking?
I think guards would use a guard for a unicorn castle would certainly use some fancy language. I don't know what kind of language Herman would use. You said is Herman trying to get into that castle?
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe he's a little sneaky?
Oh, okay. So he could maybe ask questions. Maybe he could pretend to be someone else.
Now
Okay.
You're getting somewhere, Merg.
Okay. So I need to figure out how my character's dialogue can teach my reader about my characters.
That is exactly the right thing to be doing right now.
Okay.
Merg, that's the essence of script writing.
Okay. So Dr. Botch, I'll get to work on this.
Hey mathematicians, are you ready for our daily math challenge? Today, we'll use our math skills to help our friend Diane create a list of materials she'll need to build a sandbox. Let's help her solve the problem.
Hey everyone, Diane here. Today, we are going to be using our wonderful minds to help me think through a problem I'm having. Can you help me think through this problem? Whew, wonderful. I knew I could count on you. So here's the situation. I wanted to make a sandbox in my neighborhood, but I need to make a plan first and a list of materials. I started on making a list, but I am a little stuck on knowing how to figure out how much of which material I should use. I thought about using some wooden boards because I think they would be a good place to go around the outside of the sandbox. From my plan here, we've got two separate sandboxes. One is 6 foot by 8 foot, and the other is a 4 foot square. The question here is, how can I show how much material we will need to build each of these sandboxes? Do you have any ideas? Oh, I heard some really good ones. Someone said, add them up. Another person said, count around the outside. Oh wait, I just heard another idea. Find the perimeter? Hold on, friends. I just heard a word that I think we need to explore. Someone told me to find the perimeter. Looking at this, I see the word meter, and I know that meter means to measure. Then I know the root peri means around. So that makes me think that perimeter must be measured around. That's a lot like what some other people said. So let's start looking at the first sandbox. I want to find the perimeter of each of the two sandboxes. So try exploring how you would find the total measure around the 6 foot by 8 foot sandbox. Those are some really great strategies that I just heard. One strategy I heard was to add 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 8. They went around the rectangle and put the lengths of the sides together to find the total. I know that 6 plus 8 equals 14. Then 14 plus 6 equals 20. And lastly, 20 plus 8 equals 28. But we can't forget what we're talking about. 28 what? Cats? Ironing boards? Of course not. We're talking about feet. So for this sandbox, we would need 28 feet of wood to go around it. Another option I heard was that someone did 6 times 2 plus 8 times 2. I wonder why that would work. I see that there are 2 sides measuring 6 feet and 2 sides measuring 8 feet. Do you think they saw that and decided that multiplication was a better option for them to solve it? Let's try this out and see if it matches what we got from our last time solving it. So 6 times 2 equals 12, and 8 times 2 equals 16. 12 plus 16 equals 28. But 28 what though? Exactly, feet. Now, let's move to the 4 foot square. Let's think back to what we know about squares. We've got 4 right angles, opposite sides are parallel, and 4 equal sides. 4 equal sides is going to be helpful. I know that one side is 4 feet, so all the other sides must be 4 feet as well. How would you find the perimeter of this sandbox? Yeah, you could definitely add all the sides up. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Or you could use multiplication and do 4 times 4. Either way, what did y'all come up with? Very nice, 16. But 16 what? Are we back to cats? Exactly, 16 feet. As we look at this now, we've got 2 perimeters for the sandboxes and can get a total to put on the plans, so they are on their way to getting approval. With Sandbox 1 having a perimeter of 28 feet and Sandbox 2 being 16 feet, I can add all those together to get 44 feet of wood needed to go around both of the sandboxes. But what would happen if we made this into one big sandbox? While you're looking at this, I want you to think, does the perimeter change? And how did it change from before? You think it would be less because there isn't wood on one side of the square. Let's take a look and use the dimensions from when there were 2 sandboxes to figure out the new perimeter. This dotted line shows where the side of the square sandbox used to be. Now, it's going to be filled and covered with sand. Remind me how to find perimeter again? You go ahead and whisper it to me. Exactly, we can add all of the side lengths together. So help me get all the side lengths in a number sentence, and then we can get to adding. So we have 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6. That's a lot to keep track of. Take a little bit and see if you can make it easier for yourself. Oh, what is that you're doing? I see someone combined 6 plus 4 to get 10. So now they have 8 plus 10 plus 4 plus 4 plus 10. Now, let's see. Where do we go from here? I heard someone explain their thinking and thought it was a great strategy. So I'm going to share it with you. They decided that combining the like values would be a good place to start. So they put 2 10s together, and then they put the 2 4s together to end up with 8 plus 8 plus 20. Then they put the 2 8s together to end up with 16 plus 20. And when they combined those 2 together, they got 36. But remember, 36 what? Cats? Of course not cats. That wouldn't keep sand in. It's feet. Do you think the perimeter would change if I moved the square part of the sandbox to the middle? Try it out and let's see. While you're waiting and thinking, I want you to try and think about if it changed or if it didn't change. I love this thinking that I'm hearing and I'm seeing about what would happen to the perimeter of the sandbox with the shift of the square part. Someone had this really great noticing, and I really wanted to share it with everyone. They said the L-shaped sandbox had 4 feet together on the side that had the square connected. This T-shaped one still had 4 feet. It just split it into 2 parts, one side with 2 feet and the other side with 2 feet. That was some really great noticing. Let's double check just to make sure. So my number sentence for this T-shape would be 8 plus 6 plus 2 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6. If we look at what we had before, 8 plus 6 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6. They look pretty close to the same thing, so I think you're right. These are the same value. So whether it's a T or an L, this sandbox will need 36 feet of wood to go all the way around the outside. I think we should go with the L-shaped one. There is less cutting for me to do to make all of the sides. Now, let's try a challenge with finding the perimeter. In this case, I know all but one of the dimensions, so I'm gonna fill it in on here really quickly. Got 10 units here, 12 units here. I don't know how many units there. 2 units, 3 units, 2 units, 2 units here, and then 8 across the top. With these, we need to try to figure out what this dimension is so that way we can find the perimeter. This could be a sandbox or whatever you're thinking. But regardless, missing a dimension makes it difficult to find our perimeter. Lucky for us, we have our wonderful minds. So, something that I notice here that might help me is that this missing dimension here is a vertical line, meaning that it is going straight up and down. Do you notice any other dimensions that are connected to vertical lines? Yeah, for sure. This large dimension here of 10 units is going vertically. That's one that's probably going to be helpful. And then, do you notice any others? Yeah, exactly. These two here. So I've got this vertical unit, that's 3 units. And then I've got this vertical dimension, that is 2 units. And if I take these 3 dimensions, it looks like they're going to equal this vertical dimension. So let's figure out what that is. So, if I have this one that looks like it's going to be our total of all these dimensions, we've got 10 units is going to equal 2 plus 3 plus something. Where do you want to start to try and figure out what this something is going to be now? Yeah, I agree. The first thing that caught my eye was if I can combine 2 plus 3. What is it? Say it with me, everybody. 5. So now I have 5 plus something equals 10. What do you know about the relationship between 5 and 10? What was that you said? 10 is double 5? Yeah, so that means that I need 2 5s to equal 10. So that would say that our something would be 5 plus 5 equals 10. That's awesome. We have found our missing unit. We know that it equals 5. So our next step here is going to be to use all of these dimensions to be able to figure out the perimeter. What was the perimeter again? Exactly, the distance and total around the outside. Let's get started. I'm going to start with this vertical line, and I'm going to write down all of my dimensions in order so that way I make sure that I'm being accurate and effective. So, let's get started. We have 10 plus 12 plus our missing dimension 5 that we figured out with our wonderful minds, plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2 and plus 8. Looking at that, it's a little overwhelming, but I know that we are capable of doing this. So, the first thing that I look for is, what do I know? What's something that is not too stressful for me to start solving? The thing that I notice is this 8 plus 2 right here. I'm going to combine that because I know 8 plus 2 equals 10. So I'm going to put 10 here. Now, I'm going to bring down all of these other dimensions that I haven't combined yet so that way I have a new number sentence. 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 12 plus 10. But Diane, you wrote them backwards. It's okay. The reason is that with addition, one, you can do things in a different order. But another thing is that this was for me to be able to make sure that I didn't lose a dimension in the process. I just found one. I don't want to lose another one. So I wrote them this way because that way I wasn't trying to smush things together. It's a good tip. You should try it out sometime. Now, let's get to adding. I'm going to do a couple pieces and then we're going to check my answers. Make sure you are checking behind me. We've got 10 plus 12 to get 22. Now I'm going to bring these down, plus 5, plus 2, plus 3, plus 2, plus 10. Now let's take a look. I'm going to do 22 plus 5 to get 27, plus another 2 to get 29, plus 3 to get 32, plus 2 to get 34, and then plus 10 to have 44. So my final answer is 44 units. We talked about feet before, because we can't be talking about cats or ironing boards. We're talking about units this time, because we're not exactly sure what this is drawn to be. So, isn't it so great that we can use our logic to solve different problems? Thank you so much for helping me find the perimeter of those sandboxes and this challenge problem. Knowing how much wood will be needed around will be really helpful with figuring out how much things will cost. This will be really helpful as well as I get my plans ready to turn in for the neighborhood. There are still a few more things that need to be figured out before I send the plans off. Come back next time to help me out some more with my sandbox situation. See y'all soon.
Hi, my name is Renee and I'm a helper. I'm very proud of my job because I get to help you when there's an emergency. I'm a 911 operator. 911 operators coordinate with firefighters, police officers, paramedics, and other helpers to send the assistance you need in an emergency. I have a lot of tools to make sure that I can get you the help you need during an emergency. One of my tools is my headset. My headset lets me answer calls without picking up the phone. It sits on my head so that my hands are free to use the computer. Another tool is my computer. My computer helps me to find where you are located. I also use the computer to request assistance from firefighters, police officers, and other helpers. I'm going to tell you a little more about how 911 operators like me help in an emergency. My job is very fast-paced and I often do many things at the same time. You can call me by dialing 911 on a phone. I will answer by saying, 911, what's your emergency? As we are talking, it's important for you to stay calm, explain what is happening so I can send other helpers to you. When you call, I will ask you several questions like, where are you calling from? What type of emergency is this? Who needs help? And what is happening? One way you can help me is by knowing your last name, home address, your parents' name and phone number. Practice remembering this important information. An emergency can be scary, so you can tell me if you feel upset, hurt, scared, or even angry. I like to listen and I will stay on the phone with you until other helpers can get to you. It is always best to ask an adult before calling 911. But if no adult can help you, it is important to know when you should call 911 in an emergency. So what is an emergency? An emergency is when you or someone else is in danger. Some examples of an emergency are fire, a stranger breaking into your home, or a car accident. 911 is very serious and should never be used unless it is an emergency. A joke or a prank call can take away from someone who needs help or has a real emergency. I like my job because I get to help people like you. You can help me by listening to my instructions, answering my questions, and staying calm. 911 operators like me are important helpers in our neighborhood because we are the first call in an emergency. So what is my job? To keep you safe. And what's your job? To be safe.
To meet other helpers in our neighborhood, go to meetthehelpers.org.
Meet the Helpers is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people.
Wow, we did so much today. I enjoyed learning about how our friend Kate became a sports announcer. What was your favorite part of the show? See you next time.
On the next Extra Credit, we'll learn how doctors use zip lines to deliver medical supplies, learn what a civil engineer does, and so much more. Get your Extra Credit on the Michigan Learning Channel.
This program is made possible in part by Michigan Department of Education, the State of Michigan, and by viewers like you.